What's up, it's Mr. G here, and this video is going to be for the coupling isometric drawing and the multi-view drawings for it. So, I'm going to put this over to the side here. Okay, I've got a standard size title block right here. The top white line is 11. On the canvas assignment here, it says, if I scroll down to the bottom, it says scale 1 inch equals 30. That means we're going to scale this title block up by 30. In order to get this to fit, because it is a very large object. So I've scaled my title block up by 30. I'm going to move some stuff around, get it away from that little origin. Okay, so to start the isometric, I'm going to turn on isometric drafting, and when isometric drafting is on, I also want to turn on ortho mode. What that will do is restrict my cursor to only 30-degree angles, and I can hit F5 to change the direction that I want to go if I ever come across something I need to change. So those two buttons, very important to have turned on: isometric drafting and ortho mode. Okay, I'm going to start by making a line that's 100 long. Okay, there's my line. That's this line that goes all the way across, and I'm just going to kind of block this shape out first. So here I'm going to come up 10. This way I'm going to go 90, 30, 10, and back down 40. So this line right here is 40 from that dimension. This depth is going to be 50 going back. I did 100. If this is 10 up here, this is going to be 90 going this direction. So now I'm drawing a line from this corner, and as you can see, I'm trying to go back and to the right like this, and it's not letting me. So as I'm doing that, if I hit F5 on the keyboard, it'll allow me to go that direction. So I'm just going to type 50 in there, and then I'm going to copy this line here to here to here. It's fine. And then connect these like so, and then this line in the back is also 100, but it gets trimmed off because you can't see it with this face right here. So essentially it's just that. From there, I'm going to add this little hump in the middle. We've got a distance right here of 40 for this smaller circle. That would be a diameter. And then the top circle has a radius of 30. They both have the same center. They're both concentric. So I'm going to type in ellipse. Click ISO circle in order to create an isometric circle on that bottom midpoint. Hit F5 to flip your circle until it looks like it's going up and down like that. And the first radius we're going to type in is 20. Then I'm going to do the same thing again. ELL enter will get you into ellipse fastest. Click ISO circle, use that same midpoint, and choose 30 for the larger radius. Then we're going to use the trim tool to trim the bottom of the circle out. This goes away, and also this, and that. Okay, so if the depth of the object is 50, that means we can take this curve, this top curve primarily, and copy it back 50. So I'm just selecting this top curve, selecting the copy tool, and if you have a line that you know is 50, like I know this line back here is already 50, you can just click that point and then click that point, and that creates that curve that we see right there. This part of it gets trimmed off. And then you can connect, make sure you have quadrant on. Quadrant is your diamond object snap, and just draw a line from quadrant to quadrant there. And use the trim tool to trim everything out so it looks like that. What's up?
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's all good. And then you can also show this little line. It technically goes back 50 as well. Actually, I'm going to wait on that until I do this part because it kind of shows through right there. But I can put this line down here. You can type 50 because it is 50, but then you can just trim it back to look like that. And that's the middle shape there. So this section right here, I'm going to do this little slot in this side face. The information that we have on that is there's a 25 dimension from this midpoint coming up, and then we can see that this is just going to be another ISO circle on the right hand side with a diameter of 15. So I'm going to draw a line coming straight up from that face. That is 25. And then I'm going to type ELL enter, click ISO circle, and choose that point right there for my center point. And then whenever you're drawing whether it's a circle or ISO circle, it defaults into radius. But down here, you should see a little button that says diameter if you ever want to change it. So I know the diameter of this is 15. And yeah, I could do the math to cut it in half, but most of the time it's easier to just click diameter right there, and then you can just type in 15. So that's where this circle goes. Now I can erase that. And ISO circles have different quadrant locations than a regular circle. They're at these four corners, which isn't really helpful for this situation. So what I do in order to get the actual quadrant of an ISO circle is just draw a line coming out. I want to go 7.5 because that's half of 15. And then just go straight up to there, straight up to there. Trim this off. And then this circle also gets trimmed on the top. No longer need these. So it's basically just that ISO circle, and then I just projected those two lines up until they hit. And then I'm going to project these lines back. This is 10. And this is also 10. That way. And then trim the inside part. Okay. So just like we took this curve and copied it back 50, we're going to take this curve that we just created, the curve with the lines, and we're going to copy it back 10 because that's how big this face is. So I'm just going to select this. I guess I could select that too. I think this part's going to be hidden, but I'll copy it anyway. So I'll do copy, try and find a surface that you know is 10. So I'm going to click here, bring it back to there, and then just use the trim tool to trim all this stuff back out. And if you trimmed your circle like I did up here, you can just type extend, or up here, so there's trim and extend. You can click extend and then just click on the circle, and that'll extend it until it hits something. Now I can go back to that line I was talking about earlier and go ahead and bring it all the way back. I'll do 50 and then just trim it. There, there, there. Okay, we've got this side left now. So the radius of these curves are 12.5 here, here. Actually, I need to finish up this because they're also 12.5 here, even though it's not noted. It's 12.5 on these four corners. So I'm going to change the color that I'm drawing into red. And what you want to do is start at the corner and go 12.5 over.
Please excuse the interruption. Mrs. Williams and Ms. Melendez, please report to Building 1, Room 133. Once again, Ms. Williams and Ms. Melendez, please report to Building 1, Room 133.
You just want to go whatever the radius of the circle is from the corner down, like over and down. You can also go down and then over, it doesn't matter which way. And then put an ISO circle in there that also has that 11.5 radius, or 12.5, sorry. Like that. And that just creates, all that process is just to create that little curve right there. So once you have that little curve, you can trim the rest of the circle out. It's no longer needed. You can erase these two red lines. They're no longer needed. And then again, just like we copied this curve back, we're going to copy this curve back. So I select it, find something that's 10 like this, and just copy this that direction. All this corner stuff gets trimmed off, and then you draw a line from quadrant to quadrant. You're looking for diamond to diamond, and then trim it to look like the image. Should look something like that. Same thing on this side. Ellipse ISO circle. Click there to there. Trim the circle out. Copy it back 10. And then trim the white corner stuff. And I'm going to change color to white. Should look like that. Same thing here, except you're doing it on a different face. doing it on the flat face. So it's 12.5 this direction, 12.5 that direction, same here. 12.5, 12.5, ellipse, enter, I, enter, click, click, ellipse, enter, I, enter, click, click, trim the circle. That's the only part you need. Don't need that anymore. Don't need that anymore. I can need to keep that for a second so that I can take this and copy it down using that. It's also 10. Find the quadrants and then trim. Okay, change it to white. And then these circles are concentric with the fillets that we just created. So I'm just going to do ellipse, enter, I, enter, hover my mouse over the curve, and it should give me the center location, F5 to flip it, and the size of these is diameter 10. So I'm just going to click diameter down here and type 10. Same for the other side, hover, click, D, enter, 10. And that is the isometric. So I'm going to turn, actually, probably need to put these center lines in. So I'm going to go ahead and change my color to magenta and change this to center. Draw a line going from there to there. If your line shows up like this drawing is very big. Notice this 100 length right here, so you might need to change your line type scale. Let's try, there's 5. Should be good. I'm going to scale this up a bit so that it looks like the picture. Copy, paste, rotate. Maybe mirror. Put that there-ish and scale it as well. And there's 2 center lines over here also. So I'll just copy this. I'll just make new ones.
More candy?
No, thank you. See if I'm missing anything. Looks good.